So, I'm gonna tell y'all about the time I got smacked up in 2nd grade. Subscribe now, do it. So, I remember this girl from 2nd grade who, I'm just gonna call her, Drama. I'm gonna call her Drama. So, this happened on the bus. So, we rode the same bus. Me and Drama rode the same bus. And I had two other friends I'm gonna call them, Twin 1 and Twin 2. So, they weren't twins, but, you get the point. They were brothers. So I would, hang out with them and sit in the front seat because I have no friends. I would sit with them on the bus. And one day, let's start from the very beginning. Drama was, she was always, the worst person to be around. She would, start drama with anyone she was around. She would, hang out with my cousins. My cousins were the popular girls. And I was nowhere near the popular girls. And this happened in elementary school. Elementary school was no joke. I'm in 6th grade now, so elementary school is crazy. Happy I'm out of there. But it's there's just 7-year-olds. We were just going at each other's throats for a week. It was just passive aggressiveness at that point. Because she would be like, I like your hair. It's not as good as mine though. And I'd be like, thank you? And okay. And she would literally be so mean about it. And now that I think about it, I don't know why she was like that. And she would basically just mess around with me and my two friends, Twin 1 and Twin 2. We would just be talking, having a great time, just waiting to get off the bus. And she'd come over and just start talking smack about Twin 1. And it'd be like, Miss, what do you want? We're just trying to have a conversation here. You don't need to barge in here. And he's like, oh yeah, you're drawing? Because I would draw on the bus. I love to draw. Especially, traditional art. I barely draw, digital. Because it's harder, I guess. For me, at least. But it's I don't know. It's just something funner to me about, actually holding a piece of art. So she would be like, oh, you're drawing? She would say it way more, worse, but just this is an example. She would, swear and all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, you think this, middle school is bad. You're lucky you went through that. Well, who knows? I went to a ghetto school. I go to a different school now, so. Anyways, I would draw on the bus talking to my friends, and I'd be talking and stuff. She'd come over and just do her thing and leave, because she would get off the bus before me. And I was a 7-year-old. My brothers were in high school. They were, I think, junior. Well, not junior. Maybe sophomores. And I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna tell my brothers, I'm gonna tattletale. And she would get off the bus before the bus would go to the high schoolers. Because I would have to wait for my brothers, and my friends would be off the bus, and her Drama would be off the bus. By the time my brothers would get on, I'm gonna call my brothers, J and C. So, J would literally be on the bus, and he'd be like, I can't help you. So I came up with a bright idea to tell him when it's in the morning and we have to get on the bus. Cause then surely she'd be on the bus. But it's most of the time she wasn't on the bus in the morning, so I'd have to wait for the perfect day where she was. So my brother can tell her off so she can get away or something. I don't know what went through my tiny brain. But it's hey, my brothers can fix anything. Why can't they fix this stupid girl who keeps messing with us? So I told my brothers, but Drama wasn't on the bus. and that sucked. So I was like, they told me they couldn't do anything about it. So the next, like, that afternoon I told my brothers. She apparently was on the bus and heard me try to, not kill, I'm stupid. Try to tell, like, tattletale, cause I was 7. That's what 7-year-olds do. But it's like, come on now. Why do you have to be mean? So, she was like, oh, so you're trying to tattletale on me now? She didn't say that exactly, but it's like, she was saying stuff just rude. I mean, it's like, sis, get away. No one wants to talk to you. You're probably the worst person to ever exist at this point. I mean, that's kind of far, but like, you know, it's reasonable. It's reasonable. But so, like, drama, like, she would start targeting Twin 1 and Twin 2. Well, Twin 2 was like in kindergarten when I was in 2nd grade. So Twin 2 didn't really get to hear much of it. But like Twin 1 and I were in the same class in 2nd grade. So like me, Drama, and Twin 2 would be in the same class, like, until like 4th grade, where I dropped out of that elementary school to go to a new one. That's when I moved. So, before that, what was I saying? I don't know. This is a mess. But it's like, done with this. I was like, I like to keep to myself a lot. Most people know that. I stay in my room all day. But it's like, at this point, I was like tattling 24/7, and she would be like over it because she would get in trouble every time. So she was like, when we were on the bus, she came over to me and Twin 1 and Twin 2, who were just chilling, and just like killed the vibe. Like, we were all just there, just like talking and stuff, friends do. And she's just like, I heard you was talking about me behind my back, which was a rumor. I hate drama. I absolutely hate drama. So I was like, no, I was not talking behind your back. And then she started to swear, and I was like, oh, well, this is life now. I just let her talk and talk and talk, because I don't like to, you know, I should have said something, because I just sat there just taking it, just like staring off into space while she like yelled at me, and I was like, the heck, man, go away. So she's like, you trying to fight? And I'm like, no, I don't talk about people. I don't do that stuff. I'm like, what the heck, woman? What do you want? So she said, alright, I got your number. And she left, because she had to get off the bus. The next day, she was like, talking about me in class, and I could hear her. She was literally talking, like, she wasn't even whispering. She was hanging out with my cousins, who I said were the popular girls, and my cousins are messy. So, she was just talking to them, and, like, talking about me, and said I was ugly, and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, bruh, do you not see me sitting behind you? Are you blind? And I'm like, what? What? So, I'm like, I'm talking to Twin 1, and I'm like, bruh, she's talking about me. And Twin 1 was just like, hey man, that's your drama, and I'm not in it. I can't blame him, it's true. But by the time, so that afternoon when it was time to leave on the buses, Drama came over and she was like, hey, I'm fighting you. And then she comes over and spits on me. That was enough to make me cry, so I started, okay. So, the littlest things can make me cry. I don't cry that often, but when I do cry, it's a lot. And it's over something really dramatic, usually. So, Drama spits on me, and I'm like, what the heck? Then she gets on the bus, so we don't even fight. And I'm like, just sitting there crying, because Twin 1 and Twin 2 already got off the bus when this happened. And I'm just sitting there alone in my seat, crying. And I'm like, what the heck? So when I get off the bus, I go to my mom and I start talking to her. And my mom was not having it. She wanted to do all kinds of stuff, which I was like, no, that's gonna make it worse. Why? And she was like, well, you want it to get worse? And I'm like, no. So she calls the school, because my mom was just like, no, I'm not having that. So she calls the school, and it's like, hey, my daughter's getting bullied by a bully. They're like, okay. And then when I go back to school, they're like, hey, stop. And I'm like, what? Why are you telling me to stop? It was her. I did nothing to her, and she's just being rude. So I'm like, what? I was literally losing hope in adults at that point, because I was like, bruh, it wasn't me. I wasn't doing anything. So she spits on me, and I'm like, so she got off the bus, and I was like, she's scared. Like, that's the point where I started talking behind her back. I was like, she's scared. She don't want none of me. And that's a lie. I wasn't looking forward to even trying to fight someone. Because I don't fight. I like to just sit in the corner and draw. I don't pay attention. That's why I'm as stupid as I am now. But it's like, come on. Have some faith in humans. Okay, so cutting to where I actually fight her. Twin 1 and Twin 2 were in the seat, and she comes up and tries to swing on me. So I hit her, but I was like by the window, and my Twin 1 and Twin 2 are like covering where I could hit her at. It was like right in back of the bus driver too. So because we always sit in the front, because we're like the good kids, and like she's just there, just a mess. And it's like, drama, why? What do you want? And she's like, I'm about to fight. She's like, we're about to fight. And I was like, come on then. And she's like, okay. She took this first swing, and then, bruh, I'm not strong. I'm not a strong human being, especially a 7-year-old. I mean, I have 7-year-old friends who are probably like stronger than me, and I'm like almost 12, so it's like, the heck, man. So she like swings on me, and then she gets off the bus. I was like following her until she got off the bus, and then there's this like dude. I never mentioned him yet. So once Drama was off the bus, there's this dude who I like actually like. We were acquaintanced, I guess you could say. But it's like, we weren't like really friends or anything. We were just like talking, kinda, and it was like cool. And I'm gonna call him Pencil, because there's a pencil right here. And I see it. But I'm like, Pencil was like basically a tiny therapist. He would like, I don't know, tiny therapist, what a word. And once, like, I was crying. I was just, like, down crying. I didn't really get hurt either. It was just, like, from the fact that I was in a fight and that happened. I wish it didn't happen. And, like, Tiny Therapist, it's what I'm gonna call him now. Tiny Therapist. He was like, it's gonna be alright. I'm a fighter tomorrow. I'm gonna do this and that. Because I wasn't even that good of a friend with him. And that's just how you can see, like, kindergartners. We were literally like crazy. So it's like, he was there, and once I get off the bus, I go cry to my mom again, because there would have been no way she wouldn't have noticed that my eyes were bloodshot red from crying, and like just crying to her. So it's like, what? And I think by that time, like, my brothers weren't going to school that day for whatever reason. Like, they weren't on the bus. So they either got picked up by my mom for some odd reason, or they just didn't go to school and I never noticed. So it's like, come on now. She's like, I'm gonna call the school again. What did I do about it last time? I was like, nothing. My school is trash. And she was like, well, that's my cue. I gotta go call the school again. She calls the school, talks to my principal. Things go exactly the same way they did last time. I'm like, what the heck? You're the teacher or principal. You're supposed to do your job. And they were just like, no. They literally punished her for like a day of detention. And then they just like were like, alright. Yep, you're getting suspended. You're getting suspended. I didn't get suspended, but Drama did. Drama got suspended. And I'm like, finally. But she comes out from her like day suspension, and I'm like, what? She's like, so she's still being passive aggressive towards me, just like talking behind my back and all that stuff. And I was just gonna let it just like the drama just fade away slowly. And I'm like, okay, the drama's over. It's over. Like, chill. So yeah, subscribe, like, do whatever you want. I don't care.